Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Justin and Max, and we're going to be reviewing the game.
Dominant Species.
Oh, I thought it was Leaning Tower of Pisa.
We're going to be reviewing Dominant Leaning Tower of Species.
And my favorite part is that the game ends when you get this Ice Age card coming out on the track, because we live in northern Minnesota and it's January and it's like negative 28 degrees, and the wind chill factor makes it feel like it is
Negative like 80.
And despite your short sleeves, it definitely feels like we are going through an ice age.
Someone placed the tundra on us.
Someone placed the tundra on us. That's right, and that's a big portion of the game. Is we're not going to go through like how to play the game. We're just going to do sort of our take on the game. I felt it was a lot of fun. It's really almost like a war game where you are building up your army of animals and you are spreading out and gaining control of areas, and it's a really neat aspect that the corners of each of the tiles that you're on have certain food types, and your animal has to be able to eat that food in order to survive the season. Otherwise it has to migrate, and you can add tiles. We're adding areas and trying to gain control of those.
Evolves. So
Evolves.
Different things.
Yeah, you can, what do they call it on the game? Adaptations, right? Which is evolution, basically. And you do really feel like you're, I need this type of food. And then dependence, the only thing that there's a lot of bookkeeping in the game. When something changes with one of these food tiles, one of these anything changes for the control of that region.
One of the funny things that was in the rulebooks is if the player doesn't notice, they don't get it.
Yeah, they don't get it. If you don't notice it, you don't get it.
Because theoretically, I'm like, I don't have control over that anymore.
Now,
don't tell them.
There's a game that we reviewed recently, Feudum.
Yes.
And that one also has this constant change of control of certain things, and we use dice to determine that. In this game, I don't think dice would work. I think you actually do have to rethink every time something changes on the board.
You can't have like a dice on every time.
Yeah, it would be crazy. I could see like an app or something doing it all for you. I found the game.
Or there should just be like a referee just like sitting there.
A referee.
And every time you make a move, it just changes everything and just doesn't say anything.
Now, I saw an early version of this game, like the original printing online, and the art was 100% different. It was completely plain. I like the art on this new printing of it, and I think it really improves the interaction with the game. I like the pieces. It's very clear whose turn it is on the various order track that you're doing. And there's so many things that you can do on your turn of what do you want to migrate? Do you want to expand the territory and hopefully move in there? Do you want to add species from your animal out onto the board?
Take away a little bit of tokens, and someone else might have to either migrate or go extinct.
Right, yeah, you can try to take something away from somebody else. And that's one thing I didn't really get we have only played it once, and one thing I didn't really get is the fact that Max was doing so well in the game. I should have probably spoken with my wife and said, well, maybe we could work together to maximize us while depleting him a little bit. So maybe a little bit of, what would you say, Alliances, yeah, a lot of alliances. And getting the dominance during the game is a huge portion because it gives you the opportunity to get these cards. And these cards are wildly different in terms of their power, whether or not they're really that good, or whether they can really change the face of the whole board.
Which one of them did? The volcano.
The volcano one.
We did play that one a little wrong, because what we did was it killed all but one species on the tile and the surrounding tiles.
Right, it was just only one of the surrounding tiles. So we got that a little bit wrong.
One species down to...
That's okay. But yeah, that one is a wild changer. Also, the ones that get you an extra AP, a marker to do a turn, that can change it.
My Leaning Tower of AP.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll get it back together. Is that better? The game can swing wildly. You were ahead for a long time, then Mom was ahead, then I was ahead.
Then I ran away.
Then you ran away, and I think the thing that I underestimated the power of... The tundra.
And the tundra and the survival card.
The survival card, because if you can gain a lot of control and hang on to that survival card, and in order to take it away, it's not equaling the other person. You have to have more.
So you have to go everywhere and kick them out.
But then when the tundra tiles, when three of them touch, then food starts to disappear because then now it's... And that makes total sense.
Because what I did is I was able to support my tundra until it got to about 6. Then enough food went away. Then just everything collapsed.
But the one thing about the game, and I think you felt it too, because you started to say, well, you know what, I'm going to take some of the cards out of the stack just randomly as we were playing. Because we were about 2 hours into it.
2 hours?
Yeah, we played it for 2 hours. We were 2 hours into it, and we were about halfway there. And I did feel that the game a little bit overstayed its welcome. I know some people say that, oh, it really shines when you get to that 6th hour. With all of the swings that can happen in the game and what cards come up and what other people do, I don't know if playing for that long a tactical game really keeps my interest, because there's only so much strategy you can have in this game. Everything else depends on what other people do. And for me, taking some cards out, because really you got to get through all of these cards in order to end the game, and that can take a long time. Where I feel that maybe taking out maybe 8 or something like that.
Just like...
And then maybe people choose, this card's not in the game, this card's not in the game, and maybe for every person you get a draft. You get rid of maybe 2 per player, plus there's a couple that are out. I think that could be a little bit more workable. Intriguing, because then it tightens up. There's a game also called Phalanx.
Yes.
Do you remember Phalanx? And Phalanx, the way the game ends is there is an end game card. But you shuffle it in with the last group, and you don't know when it's going to come. And I like that. I would maybe shuffle this Ice Age card into the
last 5.
Right, the last 5, or maybe... No, because then it would be...
Oh, because if we don't sleep...
I would say the last 10. Then all of a sudden, it's the Ice Age, everything's ending! Because, the animals don't know the Ice Age is coming. Anyway...
It's just like, okay, guys, prepare for the Ice Age.
If I played it again, I would have a different strategy, and I would work a little bit more towards Tundra, and I think also I would... maybe think about working with other players in trying to help, because you're always helping somebody with what you're doing. You're opening up new area, or you're putting in food areas that someone else may have, or if you're deciding, oh, I'm going to score this tile, you might do it because you have dominance, but someone else has more characters there. And that's another interesting thing. Dominance doesn't mean just how many you have there. Dominance means, are you exploiting the area well enough? Anyway, I'm giving the game a 7.5.
7.5. I'm actually going to go 9.
She's going 9, so I'm thinking around 8.25 would seem reasonable. And I'd like to play this again with maybe some alterations to speed it up a little bit.
The only thing that kept me from like a 9.5, 10 was again overstaying its welcome.
Yeah, a little bit too long. I love the game. I think it's fantastic.
And I think it would be great.
Just too long. With 6, yeah. Oh my gosh, with 6, yeah, probably a lot of players. And the fact that the animals each have their own little benefits. You were afraid in the beginning of the game that the amphibians weren't going to be so good.
Because they only had 3, but that 3 was...
enormous.
Oh my gosh.
To give you domination on areas early on in the game.
Especially domination on the middle starting tundra.
Anyway, art, I give art good. I give the gameplay a good. I like the expansion. To me, just figuring out a better way that the time is just not
expansion.
An expansion? More animals? Well, anyway.
8.25.
8.25.
Is the official rating of dominant species.